Hello happy campers, my name's Nikki and welcome to Yougo Camping. Video, we're going to be discussing what cooking equipment you can take with you when you go on your first camping trip or on every single camping trip thereafter. The bits here are probably more suited towards the car camper than they are the cyclist or backpacker, but at the same score you could probably carry quite a bit of this stuff in a backpack, so do whatever suits you. The layout I've got here is really just for one person, but if you wanted to extend it up, you could add an extra burner, you could add some more pots and pans, and obviously some more crockery and some more cutlery to suit everybody in the group. So the first thing you're going to have to think about when you're looking to get your camping cooking equipment is what you're going to cook on. There are two options that we recommend, the first being the portable gas stove. These are probably the best option for car campers and for family campers. This one's a little bit dirty, so sorry about that, it's been in my shed for a while. These are really, really easy. They take the aerosol gas canisters and they're really cheap as well, which is always useful. The gas canisters sit in the side like this, and then once they fit in, you can just click it in like that, and the whole stove is ready to go. So I'll just turn that off. Most of them have an inbuilt ignition, so once you turn this all the way around, you can click it and then the ignition will go off. It's not going to go off at the moment because I've unplugged the gas. These stoves are generally really safe, and they could actually be used with supervision by older children, which I think is a really good thing, because I'm all for trying to get them a little bit of independence and get them going when they're camping. So we find these are really good. They also stay very stable, so when you've got a heavy kettle or a heavy pot, you're not going to worry too much about knocking it over, which is, I think, always a bonus. So if you wanted to go for something a little bit more lightweight, we'd suggest going for a cartridge gas stove. Now, these come in all shapes and sizes. You can get tiny gas, you can get much bigger gas cartridges. This is kind of your standard, I think this is 250 grams. 240 grams, I was close. So this is your kind of 240 gram gas cartridge. The only issue we find is if you put a kettle or anything else heavy on the gas stove, it becomes a little bit unstable. So my kettle's only about quarter full at the moment, but if it's quite heavy, it can be quite unstable, which is why we recommend always getting a cartridge stand. These things click on and off, so they just come in a small piece of plastic that you can fold down like that and just throw in your camping kit. It's really, really useful. I think these retail for around about £3.50 or £3. I'm sure you could probably get them cheaper online elsewhere. We'll pop some links in the description just so that you've got some options there. But they're really great because they just extend the area that your cartridge is going to be sitting on, so that it's a little bit more stable when you do put your kettle on top, and you're more unlikely to knock it over. Not that I haven't done that anyway. The only thing you need to note when you're looking at these two gas cartridges is they come in different tops. So I'll take this one off because it's the easiest. This one is an easy click top stove, and it requires an easy click stove. This is actually my favourite just because it's the easiest, as the name suggests. And all you do literally with this one is just click it on like that and you're ready. And if you turn the gas, you can hear it's coming on fine as it is. So the easy click ones are probably my favourite. I think they're a proprietary valve for camping gas cartridges, I'm not sure. But yeah, they are my favourite. I prefer this stove. This one is actually a screw fit, so the whole stove actually screws onto the cartridge like this. And you can see there that there's a little thread there. So it's really important to make sure that you get the right cartridge for your stove, because you can't use an easy click stove with a screw thread, and you can't use a screw stove with an easy click thread. Let's just pop that one back on there so you can see it. But they're both really, really easy to use, and to be honest, there's not much in it. I'll use both of them, but I just prefer that one just because it's quicker. There we go. So always make sure that they're both, so this one's done up as tight. It doesn't need to be super tight, but it does need to be probably as tight as you can do by hand. This one, just make sure it's pushed down as far as it will go. So again, if you turn the key on this one, you'll hear the gas coming out. For these two stoves, we probably wouldn't suggest that children use these. If you're going to let much older children use it, so maybe 12 and upwards, definitely with supervision, because they can burn really, really hot and really fast. And again, they are a little bit unstable. I actually generally prefer these over the portable stove, but the portable stove is easier in some ways, so we tend to take that if we're car camping. But these will burn hotter and will burn faster, so I quite like these. And they work quite nicely for what we want. Cooking wise, it really is up to you what you take with you. You can even take pots and pans from home if you find it a bit easier. We've got a few of these nesting cooking pots. They're not the best pots in the world, and they're definitely not non-stick. But I tell you what, they do the job, and we've had them, well, various ones like this for years. I prefer the ones that have got the integrated handle like this, but only because when you have your pot on the stove like that, it's a lot easier to grab a handle and take it off than it is to use one of the changeable handles and then clip it on, which can again lead to it kind of falling around a bit. So I do prefer the integrated handles on these. But yeah, they generally tend to work pretty well. You can get them from most places. This may have even been an Aldi set, I can't remember. The one thing to notice about the rubber handles is they will definitely melt after a little while, so that's worth considering. But other than that, these work really nicely, and we've cooked most of our camping meals on it. And you always get a kettle, which for a Brit is always what you need, really, just to make a nice cup of tea. So once you've decided on your cooking apparatus, you can be having a look at what you're going to do to prepare your food. Now, there's a few things that we take with us that we really love. This is a tiny little chopping board. I think I might have even got it in the pound shop. You know what, it's one of those luxuries that you definitely don't need, but you'll really love when you have it. It weighs nothing and you can throw it in a box very, very easily. This just means that it's a lot easier to chop food up, like vegetables and meat and things like that, if you've actually got a little dedicated space to do it on. So I would recommend a mini chopping board, but it's by all means not necessary. Now, one thing we do take with us that we really, really like are these types of knives. I can only find one at the moment. The other ones are in my shed somewhere. The reason I like these, as you can probably tell, is that they have a sheath on them, so like that. So I always keep my knives very sharp. I prefer sharp knives, and they're generally a lot safer than blunt knives because you're a lot more careful with them. But the one thing that can happen with your camping gear is you can throw it in a bag, and if the worst happens, you dive into your bag, pick it up, and then you've done yourself an injury. The best thing with these is they've got an integrated sheath. Pop it on, throw it in your bag, and it doesn't matter if you pick it up like that by mistake, you're not going to end up cutting yourself. And obviously when you're camping, you want to try and minimise the risk of any injuries like that, just because it's a lot less hassle if you don't hurt yourself. So yeah, these are really great. We got these from Go Outdoors. I'll try and pop a link to a set if they still do them. If they don't, I'll pop a link to ones that I found that are quite similar. But yeah, these are great, and they do come in, I think it's a set of 3, but I've lost the other 2. But yeah, sheath knife. Now, crockery wise, there's loads of different options for camping. I really like to take with me Sistema stuff because it's really durable, and mostly all of the Sistema stuff has lids that you can click down like that, absolutely fine. And then they're generally waterproof as well, and microwave proof if you're at a site that has a microwave. But I love these because they're really easy to use. We generally just take the bowl ones because we eat everything out of bowls, but you can take obviously plates and things. I would suggest sticking with things like plastic, or if you don't want to go with plastic, which is understandable, wheat straw is really, really good. It's really light, it's really durable, feels just like plastic, but then you can stick it in your compost bin when you're done with it. So I'd recommend wheat straw. I'll stick some links for some wheat straw bits and pieces down below, or if you've got some Sistema lunch boxes hanging around, these make great camping crockery. Now, cups are up to everyone. I think this is a cheap one I found in Decathlon because I'd lost my camping cup. But again, go for something that's light, it's durable. It doesn't matter if you're going to drop it, it's not going to break. If I do lose this, which is probably going to happen, I'll probably replace it again with a wheat straw one, just because I'm trying to replace all of my plastic things with non-plastic things. But yeah, a nice plastic or a nice wheat straw or bamboo cup will do the job. When it comes to camping crockery, you've got loads of options to choose from. This is actually my favourite set, and it's by a company called the Nude Food Movers. And the reason I love it is because it's all encased in one pot. And again, throw it in my bag and it's all there. With these ones, you get 2 handles, and then you get an assortment of fork. You get a spoon top like that, which is quite a nice spoon actually. And then you also get a knife top, like that. This is actually not a bad knife, I have to say. Obviously it's not as good as a sharp cooking knife, but for a dinner knife, it can actually chop quite a lot of good stuff, so yeah. Another reason I really love this set is because, as well as the 3 tops that you get there, the fork, the knife and the spoon, you also get, let me pop these together, attachments for chopsticks. So if you're into Chinese food or Japanese food, I love a bit of sushi and I love noodles. Yeah, the chopsticks can be really, really great for you. I really love this set. I'm not sure if they actually still do this set anymore, which is a bit of a shame. So I will try and find a link for it. If I can't find a link, I'll try and find a link for something similar so you can have a look at it. But yeah, these are really great. That's what I would take if I was going for a few days away. If I was just going overnight, to be honest, I'd take a spork. Now I'm really happy because I've just found a bamboo spork. So I'm trying to replace all of my plastic with things that are a little bit more eco-friendly. So bamboo or wheat straw, other wooden bits and pieces. And this is what I found here. So I'm really, really pleased about this. So bamboo sporks or any sporks are just awesome because you've got the spoon on one side and the fork on the other. A lot of them also have a serrated edge on the fork, which means you can use it as a knife. Yeah, I think these are great, and this weighs nothing, so this is really great. I love it. Okay, so the last thing that I would suggest you take on your trip is a fire extinguisher. These are really, really important. You can pick them up from any camping shop. You can pick them up from most car shops like Halfords and things like this, and online, of course. I think this one was around about £20, and it's 1 kilogram powder extinguisher. I keep it in my car, but I also keep it out when I'm camping, just so that everyone can see it. Make sure you keep your fire extinguisher, and you should also have a fire blanket and a fire bucket. I would say if you're going to go for only 2 of those, go for the fire extinguisher and the fire bucket. Bucket's really important because it's that immediate ready for water, but obviously the extinguisher can also help with that as well. Keep these out and visible so that everyone in your camp knows exactly where they are. So with these ones, much the same as all of them, put your finger in the key and then pull it out, squeeze at the fire. It's very, very simple, but it's really important for everyone in your camp to know how to use a fire extinguisher and to be confident to jump in when they can and help out if necessary. So that was the things I like to take with me when I'm going camping to make sure I'm well fed, and as you can tell, I quite like to be well fed. So our camping equipment is something that we've worked on over the years and really kind of found what works for us. So I hope that was useful. If you found it useful, drop us a like, drop us a comment, and we will see you on a campsite soon.